All right, so this is the next step you guys have to do on your drawers. If you have your tool chest drawers all glued up, you got your bottom in, you've got your sides and front and back all the way around there. This is a spline miter joint. Okay, so as it stands right now, this is a very weak joint. If I were to drop this, it would just blow apart. We need to now put some splines in here. For a smaller drawer like this, 2 splines is probably fine. Jake's got a real big one here for his bottom drawer as well. We're going to want to put at least 3 splines in there. And that's going to go across the grain. So these splines that are going to go in here are going to be glued in and oriented so that they're cross grain direction. And that's going to add a huge amount of strength to this drawer. Okay, so this is the spline jig we're going to use. We're just going to use this standard table saw here. I've got a rip blade with a flat cut tooth across the top here, so it's going to make a nice flat cut across here. First thing you guys need to do is lay out exactly where you want your splines. Okay, you have a couple of options. You can cut them nice and straight like this. You can change the depth of the blade, or the height of the blade rather, which changes the depth of the spline. So you can kind of do some nifty aesthetic details. In my demo one here, I've actually angled the blade a little bit. You guys can see that I actually have the splines are angled in there, so you can do things like that as well. There's a lot of neat things you can do design-wise to kind of sharpen up the look of your drawer. So Jake's already got his drawn out here, and I think he just wants 2 nice, tight, kind of small little subtle splines in there, and that's good. So we get the most amount of strength from the spline when it kind of goes across the full depth of the wood. So as my drawer is in here, as Jake's drawer is in here, we want the blade to come across. It's basically going to cut across right here. So we're going to cut this section out into the drawer. You guys can kind of see that on there. So that's where we want our blade depth to be. If I make the blade too high to do like a mega spline, it's not going to work out well because I'm going to have a bunch of spline material inside the drawer, and I don't want that. Okay, so as we set the height of the blade, I'm going to first do that. So I'm just going to bring the drawer here. Actually, I can roll this blade up just a little bit so that the tip of the blade is kind of just below the inside corner of the drawer. You guys can kind of see that. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going to get the most bang for my buck in terms of strength of the spline. Okay? You good with that, Jake? All right. So next we have to set the clamp, which is actually kind of acting like our fence. And it looks here like Jake wants a spline top and bottom, and they look to be symmetrical. So he wants the top spline the same distance from the top as the bottom spline is from the bottom. Am I right? Okay. So that's cool. That's really easy because then what we can do is we can leave the same setup here and just rotate the box around, cut the same corner from the opposite side, and we can't help but have a symmetrical spline position. Okay, so that's a really easy way to do it. So I'm just going to take my ruler and measure, and we're 1/2 inch. That's easy. Okay, so we're going to put our ruler in here. Actually, I'm going to use a square. I'm going to use my square actually because I want my square to help me get this fence exactly square to the bottom of the jig. Alright, so I'm going to put my framing square in there, and there we go. Okay, so we need to have this fence set nice and square to the bottom of the jig. And I'm 1/2 inch to the blade. Okay, so there we go. So blade height is set, the clamp is set, and we're ready to go. Okay, so safety glasses, earmuffs. Oh, also, before I do this, just because there is actually a slight amount of play in this jig, what we're going to do is we're going to cut through, and I'm going to pull the box out, or I'm going to pull the shelf, the drawer out, and then bring this back empty. Okay, I don't want to be sliding this back through and double cutting, because then we're going to get a larger slot there and it's going to be a little bit messy. Okay? So just, you can hold the drawer, as long as your hands stay kind of close to the top of the jig, you're in good shape, right? Just from a safety perspective. Okay. Rotate it. So I'm cutting the same corner. Okay, so I just pull it out, I cut the same corner, and now I have a symmetrical spline, top and bottom, and it's just nice and clean and tight. Okay, so Jake's going to go around and do all the other ones. It's going to be exactly the same setup. And if he wants the same offset here with his other drawers, he can continue doing all of his other drawers with the same setup as this. Right? He's just going to have to change his fence position for his large one, where he's going to put an additional spline somewhere in the middle, or maybe an additional 2 splines. Okay? That's it.